Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. Great to be with you guys. On today's show, we're going to give you injury updates on Luka and Josh Green. Some positive, some not so positive. So we'll get into that. We'll also take a look at the updated playoff picture and where the Mavericks sit and what they need to do. And we'll talk about Jaden Hardy as well. His opportunity could be coming here down the pipeline. So all of that coming here on this episode of Mavericks Today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for the latest Mavericks news and rumors, analysis, everything you would want from real Mavs fans. Myself and Harrison Grammer giving it to you guys real and authentic. So be sure to subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's show. We have great news, as GM Nico Harrison called it, on Luka Doncic. The MRI revealed no strain for Luka. He will be reevaluated ahead of Sunday's game against the Denver Nuggets. That one's at home. That's a national TV game. A lot of audience on that. And it sounds like there's an outside chance that Luka could play in this game. I don't think he's going to. I think they're just going to be overly cautious on this one and kind of let him fully heal, and he will tell them if he's ready to go or not. I don't think they're going to end up pushing him to play this one, but it could have been a lot worse. There's no strain, so that's very good news on the Luka front. It's frankly the best possible outcome when you're talking about hamstrings here, because those things can be, especially if you're talking about like a baseball player, if you pull a hamstring, it's an automatic 3 weeks out. So I'm really glad that this is just soreness for Luka, and he probably took himself out of the game before something serious happened. So he knew his body. Credit to him. Credit to the Mavs training staff. Hopefully, this is nothing serious. Hopefully, he misses a max of 2 games, and I think that's what's going to happen. And more importantly, I think he wants to get back soon because there are awards, and more importantly, there's money at stake. Luka played 58 games this season, and you need that 65 threshold to be eligible for All NBA and for postseason awards. And if you get that All NBA denotion on your resume, you're eligible for a Supermax contract. Luka obviously already there, but he could sign an even more lucrative Supermax if he makes that All-NBA team. So these are important. Luka wants to get out on the floor. The Mavericks have 15 games remaining, so he needs to play in at least half of them, and he will, in order to be eligible for those awards and All-NBA and get that extra cheddar, baby. Josh Green, not so fortunate in the first quarter of last night's game. Sprained his ankle, was down on the court, as you can see on your screen right there. And yeah, man, it's really tough for Josh Green just because I think he was playing really well. And I think that it was just unfortunate timing. As soon as he moved off the bench in those 5 games, he really provided the Mavericks a spark that they desperately needed. He comes out with that sprained ankle. I think he'll be out for at least a week, if not 2, with this sprained ankle. And the change in role, I think, really did help Josh Green try to be a part of this Mavericks rotation even more, because in the starting role, the Mavericks just weren't doing it on the offensive end, and he wasn't giving them the spark that they need. But when they brought in Derrick Jones Jr. in place of Josh Green in that starting lineup, Jones provided the defense, and they allowed Josh Green to just come off the bench and just kind of be wild, which is what Josh Green does. I think when you're a starter, you're trying to establish some sort of order and organization in the game, and when you're a bench, for lack of a better term, your role is to go fuck shit up. And Josh Green is doing a good job of that off the bench. He's running the floor on the fast break. He's super athletic, and that's more of his game. So I really like what he's doing on the bench. Now, the question is, with Josh Green out, who steps up for the Mavericks? Who gets those 20-ish minutes that Josh Green plays per night? Is it Dante Exum? I think Tim Hardaway Jr. will get some more minutes as well. I think Jaden Hardy should get more minutes sprinkled in, and we'll talk about Jaden Hardy here coming up in just a moment. But it'll be interesting to see what Jason Kidd does starting on Sunday with Denver. I think he'll definitely miss the Denver game and probably a few more going forward. But if you hate injuries, go type me down in the comments, especially this time of year, man. It's just really unfortunate. Last night, the Mavs almost had a billion injuries. Daniel Gafford went down, and he looked like he was hurt for a while. Dante Exum briefly had to go back to the locker room, and we thought he had a concussion. Josh Green obviously gets hurt, and then Luka the night before. So I hate injuries, man. Type me if you're with me in the comment section. And coming up, we'll talk about the Mavericks playoff picture and where they stand here in the Western Conference. But I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Factor Meals. Shout out to Factor, man. When you live a busy lifestyle like myself and producer Tex do here at Chat Sports, Factor is the place for you. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. And it is true. It is just 2 minutes, I can tell you myself. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. 2-minute meals, fuel up fast with Factor's instant restaurant-quality meals that are ready to heat and eat whenever you are. No prep, no mess meals. Factor ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. Flexible for your schedule, get as little or as much as you need by choosing meals every week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. Head to factormeals.com/MavsChat50 and use code MavsChat50 to get 50% off. That's code MavsChat50 at factormeals.com/MavsChat50 to get 50% off. And because we love and we care about you, we'll put that in the comments and description of today's show. Get started today with Factor. Taking a look at the NBA playoff picture, the Mavericks sitting in 8th in the Western Conference right now, and we'll see what happens after today's games, but I think that's where they're going to be. It's all jumbled up, man. You have the Phoenix Suns, who they're just about a game behind, and then you have the Sacramento Kings, who are lurking as well. 2 huge games against Sacramento coming up for the Mavericks. The Pelicans have kind of established themselves at the 5 seed. So right now, it's looking pretty difficult, I think, for the Mavericks to be in that play, in the top 6 and avoid the play-in and get that full week off. If I had to guess right now, this team's a play-in team, man. It just is what they are, and I kind of thought that since right around Christmas, just given the status of the Western Conference and how great they've been. I said on an earlier show, the Western Conference this year is the strongest it's been in the last decade. It reminds me of that 2013-14 team where the Mavericks won 49 games with Monte Ellis, and they were the 8th seed in that Western Conference, ended up playing San Antonio in a great 7-game series that the Mavericks probably should have won, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, this is just as, if not more deep than that, and I think that the Mavericks are going to end up being this 8th seed in the Western Conference. So 15 games remaining. Predict the final Mavericks record for me. They're 38-29 right now. Where do you think they end up? I think they have to go at least 10-5 over their next 5 games to even have a chance, or over the next 15 games, excuse me, to even have a chance at avoiding the play-in. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Predict the Mavericks' final record. I'll go 49-33. I think they're going to go 10-5, and they'll do it. Time for the Hardy Party. I think Jaden Hardy deserves his chance. Given the circumstances in the Mavericks rotation right now, with Dante Exum, he's not on a minute restriction, but you never want to play him more than 25 minutes. Because that's just not good for his game. And then with the Josh Green injury, Tim Hardaway Jr. really struggling, I think it's time to see some Jaden Hardy minutes. And when you take a look at his per 36, it looks really good, man. If you extrapolate out his stats to per 36, he's averaging almost 20 points a game, 4-4 in the assist in rebound category, and then those are obviously his same efficiency numbers from the field. But I think it's time to let Hardy cook, man. At the end of the day, he fits the Mavs play style better than Tim Hardaway right now. His ability to ball handle and his ability to defend at 6'6" from the shooting guard position, I think, provide the Mavericks more of a player than Tim Hardaway Jr. does right now. Hardaway is really struggling, and when his shot doesn't fall, there is no need for him to be on the floor, man. And I think Jaden Hardy just provides another dimension. He can score and burst, kind of like Hardaway can, and I just think it's time for a change. With Green out, I'd like to see Hardy get run. I really would. I'm not sure if that's Jason Kidd's plan going forward, but I think that Jaden Hardy deserves his time, and he's been very patient here in year 2. He's shown some growth, and I think the Mavericks ought to give him a chance there in the rotation. But what say you? Do you think that Jaden Hardy should play more than Tim Hardaway Jr.? If you do, go ahead and type J. If you think Tim Hardaway should still play more, go ahead and type T down in the comments. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. And that'll be it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in to Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. We'll be back at you next week with some more Mavericks news and rumors, so be sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up icon, and we'll see you later.